best car, SUV, or truck, guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.
Yes, indeed. We are pleased to have one of the owners of that fine establishment here in the studio, ready, willing, and more than able to provide you, our viewers and listeners, with the value of a car, truck, or SUV that you're thinking of buying or selling or trading in. And the way you do that is you give us a call at 478-3116. Ivan Struckle, the one to whom I refer, will then provide you with that value. Now, you may have noticed that I'm a little bit casually dressed from the way I normally appear. No tie today. That's because we just finished doing the Ice Water Challenge. In fact, my hair may still look a little bit on the damp side, having been doused with a great big bucket of ice water. This is for the ALCS, the Lou Gehrig's disease thing foundation. Yeah,
go down.
ALS. There we go. Yeah. So we had to challenge somebody. We challenged Ivan and Ron to see if they would be willing to do the Ice Water Challenge. And we, of course, you can't really, there it goes. You can hear what we were doing here.
That's right, Don. I'm playing it right now. Oops. I guess I'm not playing it right now. I knew this wasn't going to work.
Good morning. I'm JJ Waters, the General Manager for Cumulus Broadcasting, and these are gentlemen from WCOA, Jim, Don, Brian, who've all taken the Ice Bucket Challenge. Now, you know that I'm opposed to wasting fresh water, so none of these guys have showered today. Instead, they're going to take their shower with this ice water that we're about to throw on their head. So without further ado, let's make it happen. Oh, no umbrella. No umbrella.
No, wait a minute. I've got,
all right, here we go.
I'm wearing a tie. No, listen.
Here we go.
Listen.
Yeah.
What?
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
No, wait.
Oh!
What about my hair?
Wow.
Oh, you wore a hat.
Hello. So, let us challenge. Oh my goodness. Let us challenge Ivan Struckle.
Hope it didn't mess up my tie. And Ron Schneider
from Frontier Motors and Joe Lundberg from AccuWeather. Wow, you finally got a shower. Good.
I see Jim's breast.
Yes.
So, Don, what that means that all I've got to do is make a donation?
Well, yeah,
done?
but, yeah. Yeah, I'd figured out some way to get out of it. I would have if I could have.
Now, we said we'd take the challenge, and we accept your challenge. And,
I see.
Ron will be back on Tuesday, so we will figure out when to respond and who to challenge.
Exactly.
It's been going on. I mean, it's all.
It is. Yeah.
It's got to be close to the end of the program.
Let's hope so.
All right, because they're just.
They must have raised $63 billion by now, but
they've got it. It's really a good deal. We're getting off the subject a little bit. This is the Frontier Motor Show. So if you've just joined us, this is not the Ice Bucket Challenge Show. This is the Frontier Motor Show, and we bring a double format, which we do every 2 weeks. And the double format means that we are live on the radio, which is 1370 Talk Radio on AM, and we've been doing this show for almost going on 19 years. And we're also videotaping this for our local satellite and cable subscribers. So if you're watching this on TV, it's not live right now. We videotape this show twice a month, and we air it quite often. And it is a show about what we bring to the Pensacola area for Frontier Motors from a car dealership that's a little unique over most of the other 125 car dealerships that are in Pensacola. And one of the things that we do different is we give advice to customers in our area, and we do this with the understanding that we're not going to make you feel obligated that if we give you some free advice that you have to buy a vehicle from us. And it's one of the things that we do at 1370, as we'll take calls on the air and talk about values and maybe give you some advice. Don, we got a call?
we do. This is Warren. Go ahead, Warren.
Hey, Warren, thanks for calling the Frontier Motor Show. How can I help you?
Good morning. We appreciate your program. We really do.
Thank you.
I am looking to purchase a 2003 Jetta from a friend.
Okay.
And just looking for a price range of what I should be talking about with them.
All right, let's go ahead and pull it up for you.
Okay.
And the first thing we're going to do, you said it was a 2003 Jetta.
Yep.
All right, hold on here.
It is not a TDI.
Okay. How many miles are on it?
200 grand.
Good boy. Better be cheap. Better
Yeah.
be cheap. Don't tell me what you want, sir. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what the book says. Let's just get an idea. God, I'm going to need your mouse. This thing's not working.
All right.
All right, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. All right, here we go. Jetta, 2003. Let me plug in the miles. We'll just go over here over 200,000. I am not surprised. I'm proud that the vehicle is still on the road at 200,000 miles. Let's make that 200,000, not 20,000.
Right.
Okay. The book value, and the book values that I'm using, Jim, is the NEDA. Is it an automatic or a stick?
It's an automatic.
Okay. It still actually has a pretty decent book value. One reason is because the mileage deduction for 200,000 on going on an 11-year-old car is only $700. I would assume that the mileage deduction would be more than $700, but the book value is still pretty good. The retail book is $3,450, and the loan value, which is supposed to be wholesale, is $1,500. But you know, it's really difficult. And I'll give you an example. I've got a 2001 Accord on the lot. It has 255,000 miles on it, and it is such a nice little car that I'm having trouble wholesaling it because it's too nice to wholesale, but it's not nice enough to retail. And I'd put this Volkswagen Jetta in the same classification. If it's a good vehicle, the engine runs strong, the transmission's good, and the air conditioning still works, I'm thinking a wholesale value in this car is probably going to be somewhere around $1,000. And if a dealer had it on the lot, they're probably going to sell it for around $2,000. What are they asking for it?
We haven't even talked about it.
Okay.
He, in a phone conversation last night, he said, I don't know how much this thing is worth. He says, but, I don't want to get taken. And I said, well, I don't want to take you.
But I think if you can get it, I think if you can get around for around $2,000, as long as what I call the big three, which is engine, transmission, air conditioning. You don't sweat the small stuff. It's going to need something, obviously, with 200,000 miles on it. But if you can get a car that is in good running condition and gets good gas mileage like the Jetta does for around $2,000, I think that's a pretty good buy.
All right. What are you asking for your Accord?
Well, I don't know. I'm just kind of hesitant to sell it. It needs a paint job, but I drove it the other day, and the air conditioning blows ice cold. The engine and transmission's good. I could sell it for $1,500.
Okay.
It's a nice little car. Like I said, other than the paint, because the paint is really faded on it. But they've had the timing belts change. I just don't normally sell a car like that, and the reason is because let's say I sold it to you for $1,500. You drove the car, and let's say 2 months later, the engine starts ticking on it. Well,
Right.
that means I sold a bad car. Regardless if it was there, regardless if it was there when I sold it to you or not, you still bought it from me, and that's why a lot of times when I have a car like this, I just wholesale them to some of the dealers that really don't care, and I don't want to put anything on the road that somebody's going to have problems with. Now this car runs like a Swiss watch. It just is a really good little car. So I think there's a lot of life left in this car, but I never know. You could take same with the Jetta you're looking at. That car was maybe a really good car for the gentleman that owns it. He sells it to you, and 2 weeks later the air conditioning goes out and it costs $1,200 to fix it. Well, if you buy the car for $2,000, now you got to stick another $1,200 into it. Now it doesn't become a good deal anymore. So
Right.
you take your risk, but for $2,000, I think it's worth the risk. For $1,500, my little Accord is probably worth the risk, as long as you take the risk, not me take the risk.
That's certainly understandable. A car that age with that mileage on it, you can't predict.
Yeah, you never know. You're right. Well, good luck with your purchase. Thanks for calling the show. And this is Ivan Struckel at Frontier Motors. And if you want to join us, you can dial 478-3116. That's 478-3116. If you are watching this on TV, don't bother calling. You could call the dealership phone number, which is Frontier Motors, which is on your screen. It's 436-8080. We do have operators standing by that can give you the value of the car. The book's value that we use is when we talk about books, where's my books? Actually will bring more than that. If my little Accord had 100,000 miles instead of 250,000 miles, and the book value was $4,000, I could probably get $4,900 for it. because they're going to bring over book value. But the book value is a guide. It says it right on the first page. And I'll give you a prime example. What I'm talking about where the books are crazy. And I've got a Consumer's Reports in my hand, and it says that they rate the luxury compact cars. The number one luxury compact car is an Acura TSX. Now, if you don't know what an Acura TSX is, it's a smaller Acura. It's based on, I believe, the Civic size, and it is the number one rated against the Volkswagen CC, the Buick Regal, the Volvo S60, the Buick Verano, and the Mercedes-Benz CLA. So Consumer Reports says that out of all those cars, that Acura is the number one car. Now, I got my new summary from the NADA. What I do is I get the NADA book, and I'm not sure if everybody knows this, but the NADA book that we use, that the banks use and the car dealerships use, drops every month a little bit. Once in a while it goes up. Almost 99% of the time it drops. The average drop is about $200. I got my new report for the September book. Now, we're taping this still in August. It's going to flip over to September in a couple days, so you might be watching this in September. But the Acura TSX that I have in stock last month had a book value of $21,700. This month it has a book value of $20,600. So, folks, the book just said that my car went down $1,100. So what I did is I got into the auction reports of what happened. There's no price fluctuation at all at the auctions. In other words, to buy that TSX today is the same that it was 30 days ago, but the books changed by $1,000. Now, I don't know why a book would change $1,000 in 1 month, but that's a crime. And anybody that comes in here that looks at my TSX is going to say, well, wait a minute, the book's value is only $20,600. You're still asking $21,900. Well, that's because I can't buy it any cheaper. So a lot of times you can take these books and throw them in the garbage. The books come out, and this is what the banks use. And that's why I tell a customer that if you're going to be buying a car, the banker's going to book it out and give you a book value. That doesn't mean that you'll be able to buy a book value. Most of the time, the book values are highly exaggerated where you can buy the car quite a bit cheaper. I guess cheap's not a good word. Quite a bit less than what the book value is. That's most of the time. I would say about 75% of the time, I'm able at Frontier Motors to be able to sell you a car under the retail book value. Who wants to pay retail anyways? You want to get a deal on a car. But there are 25% of times where you can throw that book away and you can argue all you want. And I've had people do this in front of me saying, well, I'm not paying book value. It happened with the Tacoma the other day. And I had a customer come all the way from Alabama to Frontier Motors to buy a Tacoma from me. And he knew the price before he got here. He drove the vehicle, and I think the price that I needed for the vehicle was $14,600. And the book value was $13,600. He says, I'll give you $13,600. I says, no. I said, I need $14,600 for the vehicle. You already knew that when you got here. I think I was asking $15,600. I dropped it down to $14,600. And he said, well, the book, and I checked the book value, sure as heck. Now, he had the Kelly Blue Book, which we don't use, but I pulled it up on the Kelly Blue Book. He was right. It was $13,600. And then I pulled up my NADA guidebook, which sometimes is higher. It wasn't. It was the same price. It was $13,600. So he was right. The book value on the Tacoma was $13,600 all the way around. I did a search within 300 miles, about 25 Tacomas, just like mine pulled up. I've got a program that's called Price Driver that I can plug in. It tells me every Tacoma. I have the least expensive Tacoma within 300 miles. There's not one cheaper. So I told him, I said, you're going to have, the bank might only loan you $13,600, but you're going to end up paying $14,600 for the vehicle. And I'm beating everybody's price by at least $1,500. This happened to be a four-wheel drive. There wasn't a lot of them out there as you normally would. And he wanted a four-wheel drive. I guess he was a hunter or something. So it had to be a four-wheel drive. And he specifically drove about 100 miles to get here. But what I'm getting at, folks, is you can't always go by the book. And I was able to show him, and he bought the vehicle for $14,600. But because I was able to show him that $14,600 was a deal, not based on the book value, but based on reality. Reality as far as what, if you're going to go on the market and buy that vehicle, what it costs. Now, again, exception to the rule. Most of the vehicles that we have on our lot, and which right now, let me take a look at my inventory. I got a new inventory list this morning, and I believe we had 334 vehicles on the lot as of this morning at Frontier Motors. Now, that's a lot of vehicles. I've got another truckload that's not on the lot, which is about 7 cars, so I'm going to have over 340 vehicles on the lot. The advantage for you of having that many vehicles is that if you come on the lot and you're really not sure what you're looking for, it's almost like going to a car show. Our salespeople unlock all of our cars every morning so that when you come on the lot, you can shop at your leisure. You can have a salesman help you Some people need the help because they're on a time frame. They don't want to have to look through 340 cars to find the one they want. Other people come on the lot, and we had this this happened yesterday, almost a little bit rude, where one of our salespeople approached the customer, which they should. I always get mad when a customer comes on the lot because you have customers with different attitudes. One customer doesn't want to be bothered. The other people get mad because you didn't bother them. You didn't come and ask them if they could help. I never know which customer you are. But this our salesman approached the customer. The customer goes, puts his hand right in his face, almost rude. I don't need no help. Mm-hmm. Like, hold on, this is our lot. You came to our lot. The least you could do is be nice. But this is what happens because customers are forced to react that way based on how a lot of dealerships act. And where'd that attitude come from? The salesman wasn't badgering the customer. The salesman could have said, let me give you a price list. And if you're a first-time listener, folks, I've got a price list that we print out. We print it out for our salespeople, and we print it out for our customers. So if you're the type of customer that doesn't want to be bothered, just to let our salesperson know, I'm here to look. I'm here to kick some tires. I'm not in the market for another 7 months. Whatever the reason that you're on the lot, or you just don't want to talk to anybody. Maybe you're antisocial. You don't want to talk to a salesman. That's fine. Our salespeople will give you the sheet. We'll show you how the sheet works, and you can shop on your leisure. You don't have to be rude. And this particular, I guess I'm addressing particular customers on a lot yesterday, which was really not nice. Our salespeople are really nice. They're regular people. We really pride ourselves in Frontier Motors to treat customers the way we would want to be treated. And whenever you buy a big ticket item, you come on a lot and the number one thing that I hear from our customers is the reason they don't buy cars more often is not because they don't want a new car more often. And a lot of times it's not because they can't afford a new car more often. It's because they hate the process. They never know if they're getting a good deal. They don't like the pressure they get from the car dealerships. They don't like the ineptness of a lot of the salespeople and managers out there asking them stupid questions like, well, what do you want to pay? What do you think your car is worth? Things like that. At Frontier Motors, we pride ourselves in giving you a price. If you like the vehicle, we're going to show you the vehicle. We're going to let you test drive the vehicle. We're going to let you get the vehicle inspected if that's what you want to do. And then we have a worksheet that our salespeople have. Doesn't mean you have to sign anything because I've seen this happen already where we pull the worksheet out and this customer says, oh, no, I don't want that. I don't want to get into that. I just want to know the price. Well, the reason we pull the worksheet out is because we're going to give you the price in writing. That way you can put it in your back pocket, fold it up if you want, and take it with you. So we're going to put down the vehicle you're looking at, the mileage of the vehicle, the description of the vehicle, and then we're going to put the asking price, the discounted price. Then we're going to give you the value of your car. Then we're going to subtract that, then gives you a balance. Then we're going to add the taxes on top of that. We're going to add the doc fee on top of that. Then we're going to add the title and registration on top of that. And then we're going to circle the bottom line. And the reason we do this, folks, is so that when you go to the next dealership, if you're planning on shopping, which most people do, most people will visit at least 2 car dealerships, if not 3. Some people visit 20. But the average that I read the other day is about 3 car dealerships that customers go to. A lot of them do their shopping online before they even go. They don't have to go as many car dealerships as they did in the past because you can get online and see the car dealers and what he's got and then circle the particular cars and maybe even negotiate the car's price before you get online, which happened with the Tacoma customer. He knew it was $14,600. He actually agreed to $14,600, but then he did a little bit more research and found out the book value was lower. But we give you this price in writing and we let you leave. We don't do if I could take off another $1,000, would you buy it today? What we want to do is give you the best price right off the bat. Is there any flexibility? Are we a one-price shop? No, we're not. There are some car dealerships that are going to one-price shopping, and that's really good for them. It's not good for every customer, though, because everybody wants to feel like they got a deal. And the only way that there could be flexibility in the price that I give you initially is if you've got a trade-in, because a trade-in is an opinion. I appraised Jim's Volkswagen. I told him I thought it was worth about $2,000. Does that mean it's not worth $200 or $300 more? It depends. It's an opinion. So if there's any flexibility, it's because you have a trade-in. But if it's an outright purchase deal, I can give you that price within a matter of seconds. I can add on the tax. I'm pretty good on the calculator. I've been making mistakes lately, so I'm going to double-check my price twice. Don, I made a $10,000 mistake on a car the other day.
Wow.
Customers still bought it, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. But we agreed to the price. Everything was done. They get back into the finance office because he's got it all on computer because he does the paperwork. Mm-hmm. And he said, oh, this doesn't make sense. I was off by 10,000 because my fingers went too fast on my calculator and I don't have a tape. So anyways, but the customer sort of knew that I made a mistake. He was kind of shocked that the price was so low. And he ended up paying the extra $10,000. He saw it was a mistake. And it was still a good deal for him because he had done research knowing that there was a good deal. But I guess I'm getting off track a little bit, but I really wanted to talk about car dealerships in general and why why customers hate going to car dealerships. And I think the car dealerships deserve the reputation they have, mostly. We've been doing this show going on 19 years, and one of the things that we always talk about is that why don't car dealerships treat their customers with respect and with dignity, and also based on the internet these days, a lot of these customers are more knowledgeable than the salespeople, which is a crime if you're a salesman selling for a franchise. And I had a customer in yesterday bought a car from us, a used car. He was going to buy a new car. He went to one of the large franchise dealerships in Pensacola. He was just appalled. He says, I don't know how these guys sell any cars. I said, what do you mean? He said, salesman had no clue what they were talking about. They were looking at a brand new car, and he wanted to know the different packages and what was available. The salesman didn't have a clue. And some dealerships allow the salespeople to sell both new and used, which means that they're not really paying as much attention to the product knowledge of their new car as they should, because they have the ability to sell everything used. Well, when you sell used cars, you're not expected to know anything because there's thousands of models. At Frontier Motors, we know everything because we have this little book. Now, I can get it off the internet, but I've got this new car cost guide. And this tells me every package that's available. And yesterday we were trying to figure out on a QX56, what is a theater package, what is a technology package, and what is a touring package. Well, I just pulled out this book, and within seconds I was able to tell my customer what those packages included. He wanted blind spot intervention, and he wanted adaptive cruise control, which is an electronic cruise control. So I had to look to see which QX package you had to get that information. Now, when you sell new cars for a living at a franchise dealership, you shouldn't have to go to a book. You should have it right up here. I can't figure that out. I can't figure out why a salesperson at a car dealership wouldn't know their product when that's what they do for a living. It's embarrassing. This customer said that he would never go back to he said they were so inept it was crazy. He says they must sell cars in spite of themselves only because the customers really want the product. And that says a lot for the product, that you're willing to put up with something like that. He says he was trying to lease the car, and to get the lease figure, you couldn't get it from the manager. You had to go to the finance manager because they're the ones that do the leases. Well, the finance managers were all busy. He waited for 45 minutes just to get a price. He says, I am out of here. Finance told the salesman, out of here. Of course, as soon as he said that, everybody went into high gear, and they were able to give him the price. He still didn't buy the vehicle. But I'm just using that as an example of why people don't want to go to car dealerships. At Frontier Motors, we hope that your experience is not like that. And if it is, unlike what I'm talking about, you make sure you see myself or you see Ron Schneider, and you let us know about it. And we've been doing this for 19 years. We've got a kind of unique situation at the dealership, which is one building. We have no mausoleum. We have no showroom. We don't have indoor cars on the inside. Other than water and coffee, we've got really nothing free there. We don't give massages. We don't have a cafeteria. But we have all our salespeople together, and there's no dividers between the salespeople. They have all their desks together out in the open, and all the sales managers, including myself, are right in the middle of the dealership, not on a podium. We don't have any glass. If you want to come and sit while I'm actually what we call working the deal, which is trying to figure out the bottom line price and how I get that price, you can sit right in front of us if you want. We've got nothing to hide. I tell people all the time, I'm going to make money when I sell you a car, but I'm not going to rip you off. I'm not going to be embarrassed. I want to make sure that when I give you a price, I do enough research through the internet with my programs that I have that you can't get. Fortunately, I can get them within seconds to know every vehicle like the one that we have for sale out there, to make sure I don't embarrass myself by giving you a price and having you have the ability to go to another dealership and beat my price. So I do that research before I give you the price, and then I share that information with you. Because a lot of customers have this intention of going to other dealers, even though they don't want to. The reason they want to go to other dealers is not so much to check out the other cars. They probably have done that already. It's to see, or I've showed them all the different makes and models, it's to see if they can beat the deal. Well, if I can show you that I already have the best deal by letting you know everybody has got one, within 150 miles, my program defaults to 150 miles. But if you're looking at a specialty car like a Corvette, we've got a 2014 Chevy Corvette, you might want to go within 500 miles or 1,000 miles, which I've done when I bought that car, because I want to make sure that I have the best car in this Corvette. I've got a Corvette on the lot with 800 miles. It's a new body style 14. It's a convertible. So I want to make sure that if I am an independent dealer, I'm not a franchise dealership. So why would you buy from me? Well, number one, I've got one. And number two, I can save you money. So I do all that research before I buy that particular car. And when I give you the price, I don't want to be embarrassed that you can buy the car somewhere else cheaper. So we do this behind the scenes, but if you want to be included in the behind the scenes, it's not a problem. Just let our salesman know. I don't have a problem talking about it. And what we normally talk about when we're working a deal is we take a look and see what we're asking, and we look at the book value to see if we're in line with the book, what the book says. And then what we do is we go online and we find out everybody is asking to see if we're right in the mix. We might not always be the cheapest, but if I'm not the least expensive one, I want to make sure I have the lowest mileage. Obviously, if I've got 50,000 miles on a vehicle and you're looking at one with 100,000 miles, they might have a price beat, but it's not going to be by a lot. Or we'll have more equipment on our car. We might have $5,000 or $6,000 worth of equipment that you can get for nothing if it's the same price. Or maybe it's just a color. A lot of times a color will sell a car. I had a customer yesterday, he was going to buy an F-150 new from World Ford, and we found one just the way he wanted it. It was about $4,000 less. It was a 2014 model, $4,000 less. And he came and looked at ours, and he said, no. You know why? Because of the color. Ours was a burgundy, and he wanted either silver or white. So he ended up buying the brand new car. We had the better deal. He admitted it. But the color made a difference. And so a lot of things make a difference when you decide to buy a car, and it makes a difference when I give you a price on a car. And there's a lot of colors that are not as good a resale colors as others. And I've seen this happen where a customer comes in and says, well, you're asking $15,000 for a particular car, and I can find this car over here for $14,000. I said, look at the color. I said, why don't you go buy that one? He said, well, I hate the color. He was able to buy that car cheaper because of the color. But these are all things that we talk about at Frontier Motors. Frontier Motors is located at 230 Beverly Parkway. We've got 11 salespeople. We've been there for a long time. And you can also follow us on Facebook. If you're already looking for a used car, subscribe. You can go to YouTube. You can go to Facebook at Frontier Motors, or you can just go right to our website. Just Google Frontier Motors. You're gonna this videotaping I'm doing right here is going to be on our website, so you can click on the videotape. So if you want to watch the show, you can. It's also going to have 344 cars on there, 31 detailed photographs. Almost all of them have prices on there. You can email us or text us or Twitter us, however you want to do it, and get the bottom line price on a particular vehicle within a matter of seconds. Of course, the best thing is stop in at 230 Beverly Parkway, see one of our salespeople. They'll bring you in, and we will give you the bottom line price within a matter of minutes. If you got a car you want to sell and you don't want to buy a car from us, that's fine. Let us appraise your car. If you're going to buy a new car at one of the new car dealerships in Pensacola, bring the vehicle to us before you go there. We'll not only tell you what to pay for that new car, because I have the new car invoice guides. Consumer Report charges $16 for an invoice. I've got them for nothing. And I can also give you a appraisal on that car, not a book value. You don't need me for that. But I can give you a real value, what they should be appraising this car for. And if they don't, I'll buy the car right from you. And I had this happen with a Lexus the other day. Very expensive Lexus. The guy was buying a car at Quality Imports in Fort Walton. I got the trade-in because they weren't giving him enough for the trade-in. Frontier Motors, again, 230 Beverly Parkway. Been in business going on 19 years now. If you need a value, if you need free advice, you stop in and you see the guys at Frontier Motors. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. Have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen.
Or truck. Guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay. Come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier. We've got the right price. Frontier. We'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors. Low overhead country.